remind everybody, you know, everybody's so freaked out about the internet. Oh, I can't download stuff. We have audio interviews on our website that'll play even on dial-up modem. I don't care where you are. You can listen to this. We have a great, what is it, Mike, about an hour and a half long conversation with Mike detailing their situation up there. We have about an hour and a half long conversation with Carl Michael detailing their situation. There's tons of resources on our various websites, citizensadvocate.net, stoplandfill.com, and there's links to resources all over the state. The ACE report has some amazing stuff that you guys have to see. So utilize the web, and if you need help with it, give me a call, and we'll walk you through and give you some technical support. Next up, this gentleman, wow, I got to tell you, 17 years in this. This guy told me not only 17 years, but what, $30,000 worth, right, of money that they spent on suits and lawyers to go in there and try to trip these cats up. This is a long-term fight, folks. But the good news is, very recently, they won a round. And Mr. Carmichael from Chess Township, he's going to come on up here, update you on their situation, and explain to you about the recent ruling in their favor.
Thanks, Sam.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. I'm glad some of you stayed this long.
A lot of you. Thank you.
My name is Carl Michael, and everything I say is my opinion, okay?
How old were you when you started?
Well, I got to tell you the truth, Sam and I were it was misleading because I did not start the fight till 1994. The group actually started in 1989. Tanya, when did you start?
1993.
Okay. We do still have some of the old original members. Some
Yeah, I'm not old.
But it's something how 17 years can go by and you just wonder, why did you do it? And why certain things happen. But when they started talking about landfill in '89, I was kind of involved with the local park, and I said, well, those people can take care of it. After 5 years, I decided I lived in Chess Township in this little curly-haired park in Lake Joe's, and basically the water, the discharge would only be about 4 miles upstream that goes past the park, and it started bothering me. And I went to the group, and I attended about 2 years, and I was a Republican, and I got convinced to switch politics to cover the other side of the ticket. Next thing I know, I was a supervisor. And to back up a little bit, these people that was Eagle Environmental, it was just Eagle One, had a plan of creating 2 landfills, and the one was in Du Bois and the one was in Chess Township. And we really thank the people up in Du Bois for what they did, because they paved the way for us. And I mean, the lady that I talked to most of the time was Nancy Moore, and if I would have called Nancy, she might have come tonight. And we really do need to gang together on this, because it's very hard. Our core group is down in numbers, but when we do a fundraiser, I've got to where I can hand tickets out. People come to me. I have one gun club, or a hunting camp, took 100 tickets from me to sell this year. That's $1,000. You know, now we'll get 500 back for just one hunting club. And the thing of it is, these clubs are from out of the area, and they live near landfill. And yet they're hunters and fishermen, and they can see things that a lot of people may not see because we just not been familiar with landfills in our area. Back to what had happened was they didn't get any agreements signed until 93 and 94. These people did not know how to really go through the process, it appears, and it seemed to take a long time. And they did get an application in, or they got an application in like in 94 for the permit, and it was denied in 96 because of fractured stratus, because it was a strip-mined area, and then there was still coal there. So in 97, so that DEP made a big thing that it was all done, but yet we heard they were going to reapply, and they come up with this thing called grouting So they would get down, if they know where the fractures were, they'd grout it, and they went ahead and it took them from 97 to 2001. It was August 3rd, 2001 that they gave them a permit. But to back up one more time and talking about these ladies with the wetlands, the Pine Run in 1994 was classified a wild trout stream. One of the gentlemen in our group raised fish for a co-op, and he brought the Fish Commission in, and there was a native trout, and I mean this was a true native trout. Like up at Du Bois there was a big squabble, if you remember, but we've always had good trout in Pine Run, and it does create a high quality of stream. And then there was we got involved with in 2000 with the dirt and gravel program through the county. It's like the townships do it too. What they do is they put limestone down. They put limestone down because the pH in Pennsylvania rainfall is an average of 4.3. And the lowest spot in the state, according to Hank Webster, he is a professor at Du Bois Penn State, is Luthersburg, because you see that sign, because of the elevation, is why that is the lowest spot. And it has to do with acid rain. It really doesn't have to do with landfills, but you get back to, what was I talking about? I know he's talking about the gravel, but we were trying to bring the pH, and we did a project on Pine Run, and a personnel from the Conservation District said, you ought to try to upgrade this stream, and I got this desire in my heart that I just wanted this stream to be classified what it would be. So if a landfill did go in, at least it would be on record what it was. So it was in 2002. I had a young lady from the Conservation District help me fill out the application, and we sent it to Harrisburg, and there was a date, I think, in July. Tanya and I went down to Harrisburg, and we went to the meeting, and I got up and made about a 2-minute speech, and they voted that we would have a study done. So we were happy. So the next spring, the biologists come out, and he did all his work, but he does his collection like in April and May, and then he does a study later like in September, October. So he called me in the fall, and he was excited because he actually, when he did his microvertebrae, the kicking the streams and that, he actually got one of our little brook trout. And he was excited on the phone, and he really wasn't supposed to call me, but that's how excited he was. And I prayed for this guy because he was one of our fellows that there's several people that I know, like a fish commissioner that was deployed to Iraq, and I know many times I thought about him. But he called me. And then it was to the next year or a couple years later, the stream scored 92 points, and that's the low range on an EV scale, on the scale. So, but it has to go through the EQB board. And it said that we were put on a list of 6 other streams, and there was a problem with another stream. Now, somebody might call this politics, you know, but for some reason it just kept pushed back and pushed back. It's supposed to take 18 months to 2 years to get this through. And it finally went through this year, October 17th, and is now classified an EV stream. Now, when you're an EV stream, it really won't stop a landfill, but it will stop anything that discharges into it. So the only thing I knew that it would, if something happens in the future, I just hope that something might come up that, because it is an EV stream, and I feel that maybe there are some things out there that's going to happen, could make a difference. We haven't stopped this landfill yet. This spring, we've been put in federal court. Whenever we opposed, like, they gave them a permit in 2001, on August 3rd. So we had 30 days, and this is to the supervisors, which there might be some here, might not. If you want to appeal the permit, you have 30 days. So we got Mr. Ging, Dan Zur talked about Bob Ging, and when I signed the contract in 2001, he said that you were signing and paying for what he knows. And I tell you, I even had a DEP guy tell me this week that this man knows more as far as an attorney than anybody. He was impressed. And Tanya and I, we was down in Harrisburg over this extension. They were trying to get an extension that was like in September, and they lost that battle. So right now, our permits and everything are bought by another company. They're either going to submit another application with the same information. We heard maybe they're going to change the name. There's a lot going on. I thought when August 3rd come that we were maybe done, you know, and we would just mark it up as a victory. But they sold it, and just like Mr. Zura said, you can't give up. We're going to have to keep going. There's people in our township that really think that this is a good idea. They think it's going to really make our township boom. My wife is from Bradford. When I kind of travel up through Penfield because I like to count garbage trucks, just like Dan did. And I hate garbage trucks. And I smell them. I feel that when you... I wish you'd listen. I did my interview with Sam. If you get on, if you use a website, I listened to it. I am not an internet person. I'm not a computer person. I went and had this tape today because I hadn't listened to myself till today, and I listened to it twice. Basically, I want to see if I might be able to get sued, but I think I'm pretty safe. I think I said I believe. But we'll discuss that. But I only do this from my heart because you do it because of the future. When they make that mound, like Dan said, nothing lasts forever. Somebody's going to inherit this thing. We're going to spend our money now. Somebody talked about when the 20 years is up, are you going to be able to... I know people probably get money, and if you lose your job or something, and all of a sudden you go through a crunch, and communities are going to do that. So one other thing I want to say is whenever Governor Randall took office, he did this big cutback, and he made a lot of our state employees take the retirement basically because of vacation pay or something. But I know right now every DEP department is running shy of people. I know state police. I do the bonds for our township. When people do things like try to run trucks on our road, I can't get a cop to come out to catch them. I mean, the penalty is the fact that they come out and weigh their truck, and there's only 2 scales for like Jefferson and Clearfield County. And I caught some we have fly ash trucks coming to our township. And you talk about zoning, they happen to put, we had one of these where they're putting this fly ash from a cogen plant out by Emmleton, and I talked to our hydrologist, Lisa Hollins, and she said, oh, this is good stuff. They shouldn't be putting it in a landfill. And it does help streams because of acid mine drainage, because they piled big piles of coal silt here because from their wash plants and whatever. And they take out the coal silt, they put in the fly ash, and it's better for the water. But other people tell me there's things in the fly ash that may not be good either. So, but back to zoning, they did this in one area of our township, and then they just moved to another. But if we would have had zoning in, we could have got a $1 tipping fee for the same thing, and for that, and it's not a landfill, and it's done under another DEP procedure. But zoning isn't bad. A lot of people think that zoning will keep you from doing this and it'll, you know, do all these things, but it's also there to protect you. So I've been told that zoning's the way to keep it out. So back to Clean Streams EV. Anybody that in their township, like if there's big lots of ground, you should encourage the townships to try to upgrade their streams. We in ours, with the wild trout stream, is there a trout stream in your landfill?
There's a high-quality cold water fishery running adjacent and through that property, but they claim they're staying out of that watershed. Mm-hmm. That would be the Black Moshannon Creek.
See, once it's
wild native brook trout.
If it is, then you get the Army Corps engineers. They'll come in, they'll do a study. But it'll only go from 100-foot setback to 300-foot setback. They have so many things that they can get around. And I want to thank you all for, I hope that we sell tickets. We did sell some. Is there a question back here?
No.
Okay.
You mentioned, did you want to offer this tonight?
We had some back there. Yeah, we had some for sale.
What do you offer it around now?
We do 10 guns for 10 days, and we do it 1st of December and the 1st of May. And we make $2,000 in each raffle. And we do a letter campaign. We go to the courthouse. Anybody who owns property in our township, we send a letter to and just ask if they want to make a donation. And we raise usually around $2,000 on that. Now that hasn't paid all of our expenses. We had some money when I took office. When I was in office, like half of the people were for the landfill. I don't think half of them were for it, but there was more of them against it. We've won elections just about every time. We kept control of the supervisors. But money's going to help you keep a landfill out. Like, they have money, and what you need is at certain times, like, I know Mike here, he said he was filling out these forms. We had an engineer, like I took office in 1998, we had an engineer that did that. And is that true, Tanya, or did you do some of that?
I helped.
She helped. They worked together. But if you do work with other groups, it might help you to exchange information, and it would be a shame to go through something and lose, and if somebody would have told you that it might have helped you, at a certain time. So just hang in there. Don't quit. I have a friend in the Turkey Federation, and I listened to a guy from the NRA. I'm part of the Clearfield County, Central County's Concerned Sportsmen, and they feel like giving up because the youth do not participate anymore. And all they said at our last meeting was, you can't give up, you can't give up, just like Dan did tonight. I never got to hear Dan. I didn't get to hear him in that first speech 17 years ago, but I listened to Dan 2 times a year at convention. And I have heard him, but tonight he was fired up, and you can see why he is where he is. And if we all just put in more effort than we do, if you get more people involved, you people know what a fulcrum is, and then a fulcrum is a thing. If there's an object here to be moved, like a landfill or an application or whatever, and you have a lever, and the fulcrum is the thing in the middle, and then you just get a whole bunch of people over here jumping on it, and this thing over here is going to move, okay? Let me finish with that. Thank you so much.